Hey y'all, welcome back to the Sasser House. My name is Emily Ann. If you're new here, I've just got home from work and my husband and I have been working all day long, and I thought that we would just bring y'all into our evening routine. I say all the time that we cook everything we eat, and then we eat at home a lot, and this is the biggest way that we are able to save money is by eating in and not eating out or getting takeout every single night. So I wanted to show you just a simple dinner and how easy it is to throw together a nice comforting meal. It's cold outside and it's dreary and gray. We're in that part of winter where everything just makes you want to take a nap. When you look outside, you just want to take a nap. So we're gonna have a good comforting supper tonight. We're gonna start with some green beans on the stove. Now green beans are just about the only vegetable that I can get Chris, my husband, to eat. He is not a big veggie guy. Now he will eat carrots and peas if they're in other things. I need a new can opener so bad, y'all. Let's see. Mine is absolute junk. But green beans I can get him to eat. Now these are probably not the healthiest green beans you've ever seen in your life, the way I prepare them. But hey, a veggie's a veggie, right? So I make my green beans as close as I can to my mama's. You can probably see I got some dirty dishes in the sink. We had company for the entire weekend at our house, and it was so much fun. But you don't do laundry, you don't really like clean house when you got company over. You clean house before, and then if it's a mess while the company's there, you pick up as you go, and then the stuff gets put off till after they leave. At least that's how we do it. I would much rather be spending time with company than worrying and fussing over dirty dishes in the sink. I can always do that after they're gone. I didn't mean to completely take that off. So what we like to do around here is completely drain the juice off of these green beans. And then I usually fill that can up with water and I rinse them. I don't know how you like your green beans, but we like them cooked to death. And so that's what we're gonna do. Honestly, I don't have time to cook them to death tonight, so I'm gonna show you my quick way to get that same result. So I have got a pot of water right here on the stove, and I'm gonna add in both cans of our green beans. And if you've got beef broth on hand, then I would absolutely recommend using beef broth instead of water, but I do not. But I do have beef bouillon cubes, and so that's what I like to do. I just add some water into the pot and get those green beans covered up with the water real good, and then I just drop a beef bouillon cube right in. And that has got some salt in it already, so it doesn't need a whole lot of added salt, but I do like to pepper them a good little bit. And then what my mama always does is a glug of oil. Now we don't do bacon grease or anything like that, but we do a glug of oil. So I'm gonna get that stirred up and add our oil in. And I've got these on high, and I'm gonna add our lid onto these. I like to put the lid on just like that so that the steam can escape and we can get a really good rapid boil, and if it's closed, it's popping and sizzling and you hear it all night long while it's going. So if you just vent it like that, you can get a really good boil, but the steam can escape. And we want to get all that water boiled down. We'll add more water and we'll boil it down again. Now one thing that my mama always puts in her green beans that I don't have on me tonight is onion. And Chris doesn't really care for onion, but he doesn't mind it in green beans. So if you have a yellow onion or a white onion on hand, I would cut that up and add in just a little bit of onion. And as those boil real hard, that onion gets like crazy soft, so it doesn't seem like there's onions in your green beans, and that's why Chris doesn't mind it. So it is 4:56 right now. My green beans are going. We're gonna do macaroni and cheese, which is so easy, and it don't take long, and it don't need to cook long. And then Chris actually got his first buck last night. We went out to my producer's house and Precious Friend's house, and he let us hunt, and Chris got his first buck. And so he sent us home. We're letting majority of the meat ice so that it's not gamey. But he sent us home with the tenderloin, and so we're gonna cook that up tonight. And he's gonna do it out on his grill, and we'll show you just how quick it is to cook something up like that. But if you are not a hunter and you don't have anything like that, but still wanna be inspired by this video as a yummy, nice dinner that you can do, I would absolutely recommend getting a pork tenderloin or something like that from the grocery store. Pork tenderloins run on sale at the Kroger's around here all the time, and I try to get them while they're on sale because it's such a quick and easy and comforting, satisfying supper. And they're not too expensive either. So while we are waiting on Chris to get home and while those beans are going, I'm gonna get this kitchen cleaned up. I've got dirty dishes I need to get into the sink. Got some laundry to fold and stuff like that. I'm gonna try to get that done before he gets home. I don't know about y'all, but I can get so overwhelmed with a sink of dirty dishes, and I don't know why. And it wasn't even that bad tonight, but I had put this off. I was gonna do it this morning before I went to work, but I put it off thinking that it would take so long. But in literally 10 minutes time, we got all the dishes out of the sink. I was able to wipe down the sinks, wipe down our kitchen counters, and it only took 10 minutes. And I've heard of people doing like a timer where they'll set a timer and they'll see how much they can get done in 10 minutes. And it just goes to show that these projects that we put off really don't take as long as we think. So this is the definition of a working kitchen. I literally just cleaned our sink, but Chris got home with his lunchbox from what we packed him today. And we're gonna add that into the dishwasher and get the dishwasher started. And for some reason, even though I know I'm still cooking and gonna mess things up tonight, it felt good to have everything clean for me to work in this evening. Today for lunch, I packed Chris a calzone, and it was so easy. It took me literally 15 minutes from start to finish because I make my pizza dough in bulk. I make 6 pizza doughs at a time, and then I keep them in the freezer, and then I just pull from them whenever we want to make pizzas. And pizza dough is so easy to make. I'll have to share my recipe on this channel at some point, but we absolutely love making homemade pizzas and calzones and stuff like that. And so I had pulled some of that pizza dough out of the freezer and just rolled it out and put some pepperonis and cheese, and then sent him with a little side of marinara sauce for his lunch. And just like that, you've got an easy homemade lunch. And you can always buy a Hot Pocket, but it just makes you feel better to know what is in the food that you're eating. And plus, I just enjoy cooking. All right, we have got our dishwasher loaded and ready to go. I'll get that going. I'm gonna get started on our mac and cheese. Get that on high and boiling real good. Our beans are still doing great. You can see here, they're boiling just how we want them. And I wanna show you if I were to close that, after a while it would start popping and it makes a mess on your stovetop. So that's why I do this, just so that steam can vent out. We're gonna get our water boiling, and we're gonna cook 1 cup of just our little elbow macaroni and make a simple little mac and cheese while Chris gets started on our meat.
Hey guys, so Emily has tasked me with cooking the meat tonight, and we are cooking deer tenderloin. And I actually killed this deer last night, so it is about as fresh as it can get. So basically I just cleaned it all off, and I'm now drying it off with a paper towel. And we're gonna use some of this chupacabra seasoning that our friend Trent gave us. So we're gonna try that out, but basically just drying it all off, and then we will get it seasoned. My pellet smoker is actually out of pellets, and we live far from the grocery store, so we're gonna cook it in just a skillet tonight. Alright, we're just starting by putting some butter down in our cast iron skillet. We'll let that melt.
All right, I know it looks like we've got a ton going on, and it's because we do. It'll be so nice when we get our kitchen done and we have a whole nother set of working countertop space. But for now, this is what we got. So to our noodles, I'm gonna add a good bit of milk. I know mac and cheese is different for everybody as far as what they like. For us, we like a real creamy macaroni and cheese, and not creamy like uber thick, but creamy like saucy. So I like to do a mixture of some type of grated cheese. I really like to use a sharp cheddar, but right now I had some Colby Jack that was in the fridge already shredded. And so I was not going to spend any more time this evening shredding up more cheese. So I've got some milk in there. I've got that Colby cheese, and then I like to add some melting cheese like a Velveeta or any type of cheese like that. Another thing I love to make ahead to have on hand for suppers are dinner rolls. Any type of bread or dinner roll, I like to make a lot more than we need when I'm baking it so that I can pull it out and have it to thaw. Now, our supper is almost ready this evening. I just wrap it up in plastic wrap and put it in the freezer. Our supper's almost ready this evening, but if we had a lot of time, then I would thaw this on like about 300 degrees in the oven, and it only takes 5 or 10 minutes. But I'm just gonna do this in the microwave and get us a couple little dinner rolls out.
I'm super excited that we're able to eat this tenderloin off of my first buck, which was walking in the woods literally yesterday, which I think is so cool that God created these animals and allows us to hunt them and fill up our freezer and eat on this meat and provide for our families all year long. So I'm super excited about that. We just got everything processed there at her producer's house where I actually killed this deer. And we ended up getting, I think, probably around 40 or 45 pounds of meat, if I'm guessing right. And so we're super excited. That's going to feed us for, a good part of the year. And I wanted to share for just a minute a little bit of the story of this deer. So this is actually my first year or first season actually deer hunting. So I bought a crossbow and I found some public land and I've done some research. And basically I spent, a lot of my off time or free time this season out in some public land, and I, gave it a try. It was early mornings, really cold, or late afternoons, a lot of times before work in the morning. And, I did a lot of sits, and there was a lot of days where I wouldn't see anything at all. And some days when I did see something, but I didn't shoot, I was really wanting to get my first buck. And so it was definitely a God thing. I'll make this a long story short, but basically the night that I killed this buck, I was going and I sat up in a tree stand there at her producer's property, and she was down at a different stand hunting as well. And, I had a doe and a buck, a little tiny buck spike come up, and, I decided I'm not going to shoot at that buck. It's not something that, I would want to put on my wall or whatnot. And so I ended up trying to take a shot at the doe just to fill the freezer. And something went wrong, and I had the broadhead on the arrow was not right. And so long story short, it made me miss the shot. It kind of hit the end of the crossbow and deflected, and I missed the shot. And so I could have, gotten down and tried to see if I got the deer or find the arrow and messed up my whole hunt, but I decided just to sit put and stay still, put another arrow in, and I waited about an hour, and then came a couple bucks right in front of me, and I had the chance to shoot this buck, which is nothing huge, but I'm super proud of it. It's my first buck, and it was absolutely a God thing because I have sat and hunted all year long, and this is one of the last days of the season, and I've been praying every time I go in the woods, Lord, just give me a deer so we can fill the freezer up and have some food for this year. But I really, really selfishly wanted a buck as well. And so it was kind of just that God thing that was like, hey, I'm going to make you miss this first shot at this doe because I've got something better coming. And so I thought that was really cool. But like I said, super excited that we're going to be able to eat on this meat all year long. And hopefully next year we'll be able to get some more.
Something that Chris and I absolutely cherish is our dinners together in the evening. And I think it's because we have such crazy schedules. But even if we didn't have crazy schedules, both of us work, and this is our time to come home and sit across the table, talk about our day, talk about what we're praying about, talking about, what we're working towards or anything going on in our lives. And I think that it's so special to us too because it's uninterrupted time. It's not like we're sitting on the couch with a movie going or scrolling through our cell phones and talking here and there, but it's time to look at each other from across the kitchen table and enjoy a supper in our little home. And I'll tell you what, it just fills up my cup every single time I'm able to sit down. I look so forward to this, and there have been so many times where we've had opportunities to do things in the evenings with folks, and they might think we're crazy for turning stuff down in the evenings, but we really do cherish this time just to be still and be with one another and enjoy a meal in our own home. And so that's why I wanted to show y'all our evening routine, because I know it can be intimidating to think about putting supper on the table after you've worked all day, but it doesn't have to be complicated and it doesn't have to take a long time. So we just finished up dinner, and before we close down the kitchen for the night, I'm going to go ahead and get our lunches made up for tomorrow. We are leftover people in this house, and that helps us not waste the food that we've cooked and to get the most bang for our buck and save time, because you only have to cook once and then you can eat it multiple times. Now, this macaroni and cheese has thickened up quite a bit as it's cooled, which is normal. If you've ever made mac and cheese, you know that if you don't keep it warm, you got to end up adding more milk and stuff like that to it. And so what I like to do, since Chris will be eating this at work tomorrow, is I always add in just a little bit more milk to the bottom of that bowl. And since we're kind of diluting all the cheese with the milk, I just top it with a little bit of cheese. And this way, when he gets to work tomorrow and he heats this up in the microwave, it'll all melt together again and be nice and creamy in the way he likes it. So there's some mac and cheese tomorrow for him for lunch, ready to go. And then we'll get some of this steak ready to go. And I've still got my green beans going. I went ahead and made 2 cans of green beans. That way we'd have enough for leftovers. These have cooked down good. So we'll give him some green beans to take to work with him. And his lunch is done, and then I'll make one up with the leftovers for me, and I'll be ready to go for tomorrow. You can probably still hear our dishwasher going, and it has got over an hour left. So I am not going to hand wash all these dishes, but what I like to do on evenings when the dishwasher's already going is I like to just get everything rinsed so that nothing dries and gets gunky in the sink, and then that way tomorrow when the dishwasher's done, we can just load it up. But there are a couple things that need to be hand washed, so we'll get those done as well. Some of y'all may think it's counterproductive if I'm already standing at the sink to not just go ahead and hand wash all the dishes that wouldn't go into the dishwasher since it was still running. But to me, I think that it saved me a little bit of time. I don't know if it actually did, but I'm able to rinse them off, get all the gunk off of them so they're ready to go in the dishwasher. But I went ahead and washed my cast iron skillet and my cutting board and my knives that can't go in the dishwasher. All right, we are going to shut down the kitchen for the evening and head into the living room. It is 6:37, and that means that we got all this done. We started washing the dishes at what did I say, 4:50 something? So about an hour and a half, a little over an hour and a half. We got our kitchen squared away after having company. We got supper made, eaten, put away for tomorrow, and now it's time to fold a little bit of laundry while we rest on the couch. Y'all, we had so much laundry to fold and so much laundry to wash, but mainly a lot of laundry that needed to be folded. And Chris and I don't really have like defined tasks. I do most of the cooking, but sometimes he helps. I probably do more of the laundry, but he helps as well. And there are some nights that he folds all the laundry. There are some nights I fold all the laundry. But after we got done doing that together, he went out to the shed and started working out there. And he doesn't go out to the shed every single night, but on this night he happened to, and he absolutely loves his time out there. And he's working on a piece that y'all are going to absolutely love. He has a full video on this dresser if you want to see the finished product, but he was able to go out there and get some work done on that. But I don't want anyone to watch this and think that we are like extreme overachievers, because there are some nights that we truly come home and do our best to get food in our bellies and sit down on the couch because we're wore out. But then there are some nights where we're productive and restful, and that was one of these nights. So then I started some towels in the dryer. I'll tell you what, if we have any laundry to do and it's like later in the evenings, I always do a load of towels because they can dry and I don't have to fold them. I try not to do a load of clothes in the evening because I don't want to have to fold them and have to worry about that when it's 10 o'clock and I'm ready to go to bed. After I got those towels going, it was finally time to get on the couch, and I have my Kindle going again, y'all. I honestly didn't hardly touch my Kindle in 2023. I read a lot in 2022, but for whatever reason, I just didn't read that much last year, and so I'm really excited to get back into reading. I always read devotionals and my Bible and stuff like that, but I haven't been reading for fun, and I love reading for fun. I just haven't made time for it, so I'm trying to do that more this year. I'll leave some book recommendations in the description box below, but I would love to know if you're reading anything that you like. But after Chris got done in the shed, he came back into the house with me. I got one of my crochet projects that I'm working on. This is a really easy blanket that I'll have a tutorial out real soon here on our channel for y'all for. But we just caught up on our scrolling, checking our Instagram and TikTok and catching up on texts and stuff like that, and watching some TV before heading to bed. So this is just a look into our nightly routine. We hope that y'all enjoyed this video, and we are so thankful y'all are here. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.